Hi, everybody.
I think I'd freak people out, though, if I showed it.
How are you? I am Missy. Wait, I hear everybody wanting something. Me.
Yeah. Oh, hey, everybody. Just having a good laugh before I get started. My husband was actually playing around with our lizards. Yes, I have pet lizards, guys. I'll admit it. I don't have a cat or dog because anything with fur sends me close to being in the hospital. Seriously, I get like hives and like stuffed up and swollen eyes, and yeah, so allergy. I can't have cats or dogs. And the ones, you know, without fur, no, it's okay. I don't know if you've ever seen those cats without fur. Oh my gosh. That's like Rachel on Friends. I don't know if you guys ever watch Friends, but where she gets that cat on the fancy pillow and it scratches her up, and she's like, it almost said to me like, Rachel. Rachel. I don't know if you've ever watched Friends. I'm a fan of Friends. So anyway. I got started off on a different thing. So yeah, we have lizards for pets. I won't show them to you guys because if any reptiles freak you out, I'm not going to show you my lizards. So don't worry about it if you're scared, guys, of reptiles. I will not show you them. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a really good day. I've been having a good day. I've had a good week so far. I actually got out and my husband and I went to the mountains Monday. Yeah, and I think it was 28 degrees up there, wind chill factor probably like in the teens. Loads and loads of snow. I mean, we had, if you measured the snow, it was probably all the way up to the hood of the truck. I mean, not hood, the window. The door, the window, you know, of the truck. It was probably that deep. It was about, in places I would say, 3 to 4 foot deep. I mean, yeah. 1-lane road, actually it was a 2-lane road, and it was so much snow on both sides of the road that it turned down to 1 lane. And we got all these people coming around the corner, flying down the road like idiots, and it's like, oh my gosh, why do these people drive like that? But anyway, we had fun getting out. I took some really good pictures, guys, and it, you know, it kind of refreshes my brain when I do that, when I get out in nature. When I get outside, it does that. And today, I'm going to take a sip of this. I'm actually drinking green tea today. I'm not doing my coffee today, but I'm doing green tea. I love green tea. So, cheers to everybody. And, you know, each week that I've been doing these, I've been getting these really good ideas on what to talk about. And instead of, you know, if you guys ever tuned into my Big Tip Fridays back in the, you know, last year, I had given you all kinds of tips, all kinds of tricks, and I love doing that. But for those of you who might be new, I'm doing something a little different. It's more of a conversational piece, and each week I come up with something cool to talk about. And I thought this week would be good to talk about how are you showing up in your business? How are you showing up in your life? Okay, are you showing up half-ass? Are you showing up all the way? Are you really in it? Or are you just sort of sitting there like, yeah, whatever, right? You're just like, yeah, whenever I get around to it. And, you know, that's one of those things that I have had many challenges with, guys. For all the years that I've been I think I mentioned it before, I was a wantrepreneur for a while, and I just got like in love with being the thought of being an entrepreneur was like, I don't know, it seems so glamorous and wonderful, and it can be, but I was looking at it in this perfection way and not as, you know, coming to it in a place of seriousness. And I wasn't coming into it in a place of being serious. I was more of like, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, and like I'm gonna be doing some business today, and whenever I can just get around to it. And I was pretty much half-ass. Okay, I really wasn't all in with it. I really didn't give it my all. There were days that I did, and there were other days that I'm just like, whatever, right? And you know, the thing is with this is the thing about being an entrepreneur is you can set your own schedule. You can do your own, you can set your own time. Yes. You can schedule the days when you want to be off. You can schedule the days when you want to work. But if you're not working those days that you schedule yourself for, and you're just kind of goofing off and not really, not really with it, you have the TV on, you're watching TV, you're sitting back goofing on Facebook and for 2 or 3 hours, and then you go back and check your email and look at your email for a while, and you go back to Facebook and make a post or two, and then it's the end of the day and you're going, no, I did my work. I worked hard. Yeah. No, guys, no. I thought I did that too. I got on social media, spent time on it, spent time on the emails, doing some research and everything else, and then at the end of the day, I called it a day and I went, oh, well, I did my work today. Did I reach out to anybody? I mean, really, did I reach out to anybody? No. Did I make some valuable content? Did I just read my emails and, just got on some trainings and just went, I used to think that was real work. And although training, okay, when you look at it as business training, that is part of your learning experience for your business, but it's not the real work. And, I think just being half-assed is, I see a lot of people, especially people that are starting out and want to become an entrepreneur, and they treat it more like a hobby. Have you noticed that? That people will treat it like a hobby and something that they're just whenever they can get around to it. And I've done that, guys. I've been so guilty of this. So guilty of this. I did this probably, I don't want to say all the time, but a good part of my time. Because, and the thing is, I got to look, you got to question yourself is, why are you just half-ass in your business and your life? It's not, your life and your business interconnect. And, a lot of people think, well, my personal life is separate, my business life is separate, my social life is separate, my relationships with my family, my husband, wife, spouse, whoever, are separate. The intimate parts of your life are separate. They're not. And I used to think that. I used to think that all those parts of your life are separate, and the fact of the matter is they all intertwine. So if you're living a half-assed life and you're just skating by, doing whatever, kind of being lazy, not really, just watching TV all day, sitting back and just letting life consume you, then you're going to be like that in your business. And you're going to be like that in your relationships. You're going to be like that in all areas of your life, because what I've discovered, how you are in one area of your life is how you are in all areas of your life. So you really want to think about that, that type of thing, guys, and just kind of have a conversation with yourself. Really go in with yourself and really look at what you really want to do. Okay, are you in it all? Are you all in it for the business in your life? Are you really willing to make that sacrifice to do whatever it takes to get it started? Okay, it's a hard decision, and I know I played that game many times. I mean, my husband, what was that time when you got back from work a couple of times when we were living in our house?
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be like, well, what'd you do today? Oh, well, I researched this, and I did that, and I got on this training, and I got on that training, and
yeah, she got yelled at.
Yeah, I got on Facebook, and I chatted with a few people, and and
she got yelled at.
Yeah, he's all, no, what did you do for your business? What activity did you do? And I'm like, I'm telling you what activities I did, and he's like, that is not activities for your business. Did you make phone calls? Did you talk to people about the opportunity? At the time, I was doing MLM. And I was doing lead generation, and I was doing like all the things, right? All those things. And how many people did you call? And I go, I don't know, maybe 5, 10. How many appointments did you set for the next day? Because I would do like phone interviews and stuff like that. At that time, I did a lot of on the phone things back in the day before internet. Well, there was internet, but before it really took off to where it is today. And I said, yeah, I made some calls, and I got an appointment for tomorrow, and I set a business meeting up in town to meet at Starbucks to talk about our businesses, and you know, the funny thing is,
she got yelled at.
I was doing all the wrong activities, okay? I was doing all the wrong things to get, those kind of things, yes, training is important, okay? Training for your business is important if you get on trainings, but that is not the money making, that activity is not going to make you the money, okay? You've got to really go in for money making activities. So searching, playing on Facebook, listening to trainings, those things right there is not going to make you the money, okay? Now, at the time when I was calling leads and I was doing leads, and those people, you know, because I took them through like a whole interview process for the opportunity that I was in at the time. And, okay, that right there is a money-making activity, because if that person decides they want to move forward in the business with you, bam, you know, you've got someone on your team. So those are money-making activities. So I would spend kind of half my time in that half-ass mode of, yeah, I want to do the entrepreneur thing, but, and then the other half of me would be like, oh yeah, well, I made all these calls today and I got a sale and everything. So it was like two different, I was like almost, what, two different people? I don't want to say two different people, but I guess in a way. You know, I was kind of over here, but then I was kind of over here, and I was like that.
You were letting your emotions and your mood drive you.
Yeah. And
in whatever freaking direction it happened to be that day.
Yeah. And, you know, so, and I would get so frustrated, and in those days I wouldn't do anything, and anyway, I did that for a long time. And I'm able to admit it now. I've done that for a long time. And it's up until recently, and I would say, and I'm being completely honest with you guys. This is part of the conversational thing to help you if you've ever felt this way. If you've ever feel like, you know, you're sort of just floating out there half-assing your life and half-assing your business and just overall, and you really, a lot of the times what it boils down to is fear. And you know, people will make excuses all day long for, oh, why I didn't get this done, or I didn't get that done, or no, I haven't done this, no, I haven't done that. And it's like, well, how come you haven't done the activity? So you got to go inside yourself, and you are the only one who can do this. So, like, don't seek, you know, like I was talking about a couple weeks ago, don't seek validation from anyone else. You go in yourself, inside yourself, and ask yourself, why? Why are you half-assing your business? Why do you feel like you're not moving forward in your life? If you start asking these questions and be honest with yourself, I'm not saying, because sometimes it's hard to be honest with ourselves, right? It really is, because when we're honest with ourselves and we see something that isn't right, and we, instead of blaming like outside sources and other people and this and that and the other thing, if we look at ourselves and go, wow, you know, I was experiencing that because I was scared, or I was experiencing that because I didn't feel like I was worthy. You know, if you say that to yourself, some people will being vulnerable like that, it makes them feel horrible. It makes them feel like they're not a good person because they've had these feelings of just, you know, they're not, no self-worth, no self-esteem, they're lacking the self-confidence, and they feel bad when they feel that way, right? And we don't want to feel bad. I mean, as humans, we want to be happy, right? I know I do. I want to be happy, you know, and I don't want to have to feel. A lot of people are scared to feel their emotions, the true emotions. I'm not talking just getting frustrated and, you know, I'm talking they're scared to feel their true selves, what their being is. And I admit that I was fearful. I didn't know what to do. I didn't really know, you know, I mean, I think I knew what to do. The steps were laid out in front of me. Okay, so I don't want to say that. I had a step-by-step plan to follow. And I even had a task thing that you put on the wall at the time in the office. Toby made this really cool, we had it up on the wall, and it had the phone calls at the time when I was doing my lead generation and all this stuff. And I had all the tasks there to do during the day, right? Everything was laid out for me.
It was a full breakdown
Yeah.
as to the method, do this first, do this second, do this third.
Step by step.
Step-by-step instructions. It had a lot on there.
Yeah, it had everything.
It took me a couple of days to put that friggin' thing together.
Even though it was there, I got caught in another thing, paralysis of analysis. If you guys ever have experienced that, and I think, I don't want to say everybody, but I would want to suggest probably everybody at one point in time in their life has experienced paralysis of analysis. And that's where you get so bogged down with everything that you just stop.
You overthink.
You overthink, and you get stuck, and you just stop. And I got caught up in the numbers, right? Because I'm not. My husband's more analytical. He's more of a numbers person, and me, I am really not into the numbers thing. So I got caught up in the numbers. I got caught up in all the things of, I got to make all this, I got to do this, and I got this paralysis of analysis thing, and I stopped. And
all you had to do was do the simple tasks every day, and the numbers take care of themselves.
Yeah, and I worried about the numbers. I'm like, oh my gosh,
if you look at the numbers right, the only thing the numbers tell you to do is whether or not you need to speed up what you're doing, or you're doing perfectly fine and you have a dash of extra time.
Yeah. And I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it as, I got to get... My upline has, she's getting all these leads, and she told me to get 500 leads a month, and I'm only getting, 100, and I need to get more. And the numbers... I was freaking out. And that's how it is sometimes in life, right? Not just business. In life, from personal experience... is I get caught up in too many things that's going on, with family drama. I won't get into all that, but just things of family that's happened, and family things that we got to take care of. You have those weeks where 5 things break. One person's in the hospital, 5 things have broken, and you're behind on this, that, and the other, and you're just going crazy. Well, playing half-assed in your life too is the same. You can get in the paralysis of analysis in that too. And I got stuck in that area of my life, trying to think of doing all the things. I know this broke, that broke, and my husband's trying to fix this. I'm trying to help someone with that, and someone's in a hospital, and worrying. All this stuff just bogged up my mind, guys. I'm not kidding. And I stopped. It's like my life got put on hold. It's like everything just sort of slow motion, where you're going like this, and all of a sudden everything just stops, and that's what it felt like. And then it carried over into my business. It carried over into my relationships. It carried over into my social life with other people, friends. It carried over into, I'll just say it, okay? It carried into my intimate life with my husband. And I didn't realize what the heck, because I thought, okay, all these things are separate. Why am I having all these problems? And I just felt like I was half-assed in all of it, not all in. So if you've ever felt like that, and the only reason I'm coming to you today and you're thinking, okay, Donna, wow, you're really being vulnerable. Well, yeah, because I have seen what it's done to me in my past, and I know if anyone else has experienced this out there, and you can't figure out why your business isn't moving forward, you can't figure out why your life isn't moving forward, and you feel this, you're like at the stuck standstill position and you're not getting anywhere, it could very well be that either you're playing half-assed in your life and not being all in with everything, or you're scared and you're letting fear just take you over.
To those people that still think that all of these subjects are separate and don't have anything to do with each other, I challenge you to come up with a way to describe how you have more than one body and more than one mind. Because all of these subjects,
Yeah.
every last one of them, how they all tie together is you. You only have one body. You only have one mind. You can only do one thing at a time. Even those that say that they have absolutely no problem multitasking. Okay, you have no problem multitasking.
Yeah, I used to think I did.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay, you say you have no problem multitasking. Fine. Fill out 2 documents at the same time while reading a book and answering someone's personal question.
Oh my gosh.
And I want it all at the same time. You cannot finish one thing and then go to the next. You have to do it all at once. That is multitasking. The concept of multitasking does not exist. Because, frankly, you have 2 documents to fill out at the same time. Are you writing on both at the same time? If you're ambidextrous, sure, you can write on both at the same time. Can you read at the same time? While figuring out what the next question is on the document that you're filling out.
It's a big challenge.
Can you read and understand that while reading the other? You have 2 eyes. Maybe you can split them in 2 separate directions. Hey, more power to you. But then someone comes in and asks you a verbal question. Now, how much are you concentrating on those other 2 items? While you're reading, are you writing at the same time? Are you able to concentrate on reading, writing, and what the person is saying at the same time?
And trying to talk on the phone.
Oh, now you're throwing in another dimension.
There are, but there are people that say that they can do all that.
The true thing about multitasking is you can only do one thing at a time. Either you're writing, either you're reading, either you're talking. You're not truly doing 2 things at once. You don't have 2 brains. So it does not happen.
Although I think sometimes it would be interesting to see what it'd be like if we had 2 brains. Probably a little scary, I don't know.
You just come up with a new way to argue with yourself.
Well, that's true. That's true, you would.
All I'm getting at here is one thing at a time.
Yeah.
One thing at a time. If you start over-analyzing things, what you end up doing is concentrating on just the analyzation portion. If you do nothing but analyze, you're not doing action. If you're worrying about what the numbers are saying, you're not doing the action to make the numbers look better.
Or work in your favor. And that's what I was doing. I was getting stuck on all that.
The numbers don't even have to work in your favor.
Yeah.
It's about the work.
Yeah.
If you do the work, the numbers show themselves.
Yeah.
Okay?
Actually,
the numbers will tell you whether or not you're doing good. If you look at the numbers as nothing more than a way to tell you how well you're doing. Okay? Poor numbers don't state how well you're doing.
Yeah.
Poor numbers just state something got in the way of you doing good. It tells you, hey, I need to figure out what got in my way. It's not telling you that you suck It's telling you something got in your way.
And that's something, that ties into what I was saying, that whatever you're letting get in your way, you need to kind of, like I said, go in with yourself. Figure that out. Ask yourself questions. What is getting in your way? What emotion maybe? What are you feeling from day to day? What are you, you're the only one that can figure that out. I mean, I can have someone tell me, Donna, and somebody, maybe having an accountability partner might help. Sometimes, depending on who you are, it might not be the best thing, but for most people, accountability partner going, where do you see I'm at? Because if you can't figure it out for yourself, if you can't figure out what is stopping you from being all in with your business and your life, then, maybe ask, a close friend, your spouse, maybe somebody who knows you very well, and think, what do you see? Get their perspective, because sometimes we cannot see our own crap, right?
And when you ask them, what do you see? You have absolutely no right to yell at them.
Yeah, because they're telling you what they see. Yeah.
It does not mean that's what it is. It is what they see.
Yeah, because our perspectives are, each person's perspective of things a little different. So if you ask like your husband or your wife or your partner, whoever you're with, what do you see? And they say, oh, well, I see that you're just not being passionate enough. And then you go and sit there, not passionate enough. I mean,
all you're doing is blowing up and killing any possibility of you learning.
Yeah, because the correct way would be like if they say, I just don't see the passion in you. I don't see it in you. I'm not being mean, and you then, instead of getting all mad and say, what passion? I'm passionate every day. Instead of doing that,
you're passionate at yelling at them.
Be like, what do you mean? How do you mean? Where do you see me not being passionate at? In what areas of my life or my business are you just not seeing it? And then let them tell you, and then just have it like a conversation, okay? And if a lot of the times what'll happen is you'll start seeing it, maybe see it for yourself. And what I've discovered sometimes, and not to be down on anybody, but sometimes it has to be an outside person, someone. And I usually say for people that know you, but what I've discovered for me is I've discovered things in myself that were there all along, and my husband was trying to tell me something one day, and I'd get all upset or whatever, and then I went and went to my my mentors and coaches, that people they're coaching in life coaching and different things like that, who work with this stuff, and they've helped me see things that's been there all along. And I go, it's like an epiphany. It's like something will open up and I see it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what is stopping me. This right here is what's been holding me back from being all in. And even though, and it was right maybe what my husband saw, but sometimes it's harder to get that information from your family than getting it from a coach. And it sounds mean, and I'm not trying to sound mean, it's just sometimes we have a hard time when it comes to our family at times, because we feel like we're being judged, right? I mean, there's times I've, felt like, well, wow, I'm being judged here. Well, no, and I just go, I put up this wall like, no, stop. But then I can go to my coach, right? And she'll be like, okay, this is what, we're seeing. This is what, with different people, what we've seen and everything. And she gives this great advice to everybody. And then I see it. So sometimes you might want to go outside of that. Find yourself somebody that, and I'm not saying you have to get a coach, you have to listen to a coach or anything, or a mentor, but it's always a good idea to have someone like that you can listen to and you can get information from and kind of see it for yourself.
Well,
and not all the time, but
yeah, under that instance, if you're asking someone, friends or family, what they are seeing, they're going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes your ego will get in the way. And under that particular instance, you know, you end up being defensive.
Yeah.
And all it does is anger you. And all they're doing is being honest with you. They're not trying to bash you. They're not trying to beat you up. They're just being honest. And if you've managed to tick them off completely before you ask that question, you're going to get a lot more honesty than you're ready for.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're going to be asking questions like that, you're going to have to set your pride aside. Lose the pride so you can gain what is actually precious.
Yeah. And I think that was even said by something similar, Mark Hoverson. He was one of my favorite people, and he had different takes on that too, about, you know, being open and honest with yourself. And it's hard to do, guys. It really is. And, you know, I think by sharing this vulnerable stuff with you, that I'm hoping that if you felt this way, like I said, if you felt this way before and you don't really know where to go with it, what to do with it, how to even feel about it, the best thing I can tell you, that, and I think, is to really seek honesty. And sometimes it's hard, right? I mean, we don't like to, we always say be honest. We always say we want to be honest and have the integrity, be authentic, and that's really what we're after. That's really what I've been starting to do. That's why I took this whole new take on going from tips and tricks and general stuff to deeper emotional stuff, because it spreads out to your whole life, to your whole business. And if you can't figure it out, you can't get honest with yourself, you're always going to be on that road. You're always going to stay stuck. You're always going to be half-assed. You're not going to ever be all in. And if you want to be all in with your business and life, you're going to have to get really vulnerable and really honest, regardless if it hurts or not. And once you've opened that door up and you've realized, you start to bloom. Things start to happen. Good things start to happen, and you start to just get this, like a release.
Uplifting, release, this epiphany, and this sudden inner joy. Yeah,
you start feeling all these things. And
as a quick little story goes, you know, back when I was doing copiers and that, you know, there was instances where you're sitting there, I know this stuff, I know how to do this, I can do this, and, you know, I can do this, I can do this, and the ego gets in the way. Well, after a while, there was a machine that it kicked my butt up around my ears and kept it there. I could not get it. I could not get it for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And my ego says, oh, I can take care of this. And I couldn't do it. I could not fix that freaking machine. So I ended up making a phone call, and I told the supervisor, I can't find it on this machine. I just can't find it. I can't get this done. And he's all, okay, well, describe what it's doing for me. Or, doing for you. Or to you. However you want to put it. So I described what was going on, what was happening, everything that I've tested, did, so on, so forth, blah, blah, blah. He's all right. Do this, do this, do this, and that'll get it working good enough so you can order these parts here. This one, this one, this one, and this one. I'm all, say what? I did that. The machine worked. And just like that. The problem was taken care of just because I opened my flipping mouth and actually talked to someone. Whoa. Imagine that! I put my ego aside, talk to somebody, and it's fixed. Huh.
Yeah, and sometimes, I think we're afraid to ask for help,
It's not about being weak.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Asking for help makes you so much stronger.
And I used to have that problem too, and I think that's another big thing about being half-ass or all in, is we're afraid to ask for help because we think, oh, well, I can do it all, and your ego gets in the way. And the thing about ego, and I've been thinking about this, I'm going to do a separate episode about ego, because there's some good points to ego, and everyone should have one without being self-righteous. But that's, I'm not going to go into that now, but that brought up a point. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. Wow, got choked here. Is if you don't step back and think, okay, well, maybe I can't solve this on my own. Because I told you to look in, ask yourself questions, seek help from maybe your someone who knows you really well, see what they're seeing, go in with a coach, or maybe it has to do with asking for help. Because if you feel this need to do it all and be like all the things to everybody all the time, you're still going to be half-assed. It's like the multitasking thing that he just mentioned. You're going to be here, you're going to be over here, you're going to do this, you're going to have that task, and you're going to jump around, and you're never going to be all in with anything in your life. So I think, if you really look at those things that we've mentioned, and like I said, this is not to solve, we're not trying to solve those problems here. We're just trying to help you open up your mind. If you're experiencing this, like I know I have, and my husband has, and other people that I know have experienced the same sort of feelings about you just can't seem to get all in with everything. It's not always about, and a lot of times we'll go, oh, well, they're just half-assed because they're lazy.
That story that I just told you, I was on that machine for 3 hours. I made one phone call. It was fixed in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Fixed.
Yeah.
In 15. Once I got off of my high freaking horse and started calling people and learning what they learned, knowing what they know, all of a sudden, I got a whole lot better and a whole lot quicker.
Yeah, so you seek help, guys. Seek help. I don't know where, but your heart will lead you. And that's where, if you can lower your pride and lower your ego and let somebody else come in and maybe help you with that, things will start opening up. Things will start opening up. And if you go, oh yeah, right, sure. No, it really does. Things start opening up. I am not the same person I was 6 months ago. I am not the same person I was a year ago. And I look back now, and I still have a long way to go, because life's a journey, right? We're all on a journey. It's just everybody is at a different level. Everybody is at a different stage in their life and their business. And no one story is going to be the same. But the thing that most people experience, we all experience the same emotions. We all experience fear. We all have an ego. We all are afraid to ask for help a lot of the times. We all have these same problems that just stop us from living our potential, from living being the person that we really want to be. Okay. So I think I don't want to keep this going too long, because again, these subjects I've been talking about, guys. I feel like I could just sit there and we can just go forever. But I know you have other things to do. I value your time, and I value our time as well. And I just think, that if you really open your mind up, there's so many things, guys, that you can do. There's so much potential out there. This is why I am looking and working toward being a life coach, guys, because there is so much potential out there that people can really do. And I want to help those people. And I have this desire in me and this passion in me that just really wants to do that. And to make people happy, because we all want to be happy, right? We all want to be happy. We all want to be loved. We all want to be noticed. We all want to be heard. And that is one thing us humans have in common. And I think, you know, we just need to really open up our minds. So I think with that being said, did you have anything else to add before I close out?
No.
If not, okay.
Just keep in mind, you know, sometimes your emotions can get in the way when you ask for, when you need to ask for help. Your emotions get in your way.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. Emotions are a good thing, but sometimes they can get in your way.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's true. Okay, guys. Well, I hope this has been helpful for you. I know it was a little bit open and vulnerable, but that's what I really want to bring to the table now, guys. So, with that being said, you guys have an awesome, awesome day. And I will see you again next Friday. Take care. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.